Being a startup, it's about building a kind of solution which is more closer to the user, making their life easy.
You've implemented Nlog in over 1,200 PGs and 35 hotels. So how did you operationally scale that?
We do list out a few core problems that we can solve, and when we reach out to them, we just try to map out which problem is their biggest pain point. It's more about the word of mouth referral, because we show them the result.
In college, what do you think is the fastest, most legit way that someone can make a lakh?
To earn a lakh, I would say not start a startup because
If someone wants to make money and also build something meaningful, where should they start in 2025? Could you give a step-by-step roadmap?
so I would say
Welcome back to another episode of She Means Business. Today's guest is co-founder and chief marketing officer at Nlog, a company revolutionizing the way commercial spaces manage energy. With a mission rooted in sustainability, she has led Nlog to implement energy-saving solutions across 1,200 plus PGs and 35 plus hotels in Delhi NCR, cutting down over 5,500 tons of carbon emissions in just 6 months. Nlog is proving that smart energy management isn't just a vision, it's happening. If you're someone interested in climate tech, marketing, or mission-driven entrepreneurship, you'll love this conversation. Let's dive in. So let's start at the very beginning. What was your life when you were working in agencies?
so. First of all, thank you so much for asking this question, because I'm really asked about this part of my career. Um, my agency work was the very initial time. It was my first job being in a city like Gurgaon, and everything was very different for me to have like a proper corporate experience. And agency, to be honest, works really differently. Agency is set of really passionate people coming together and working on making their ideas bigger. So that particular experience was one of its kind. I would say that maybe that kind of experience you can't find anywhere else. So um, I would say I fell in love with the work a little more while working in agency.
And you had a stable career and certifications and experience in a high demand field. So why did you choose to starting up?
It was not that a conscious choice. It happened because I took a leap of faith. As in being in digital marketing or advertising, this is a field I could see that, okay, I have one side of skill set and I will grow more and more, and there would be a growth. Uh, but on the other side, it was also about what kind of impact we are making. If you are handling crores of budget for one ad campaign versus you are raising crores of money to build a business. So there was more impact, and this was something, I didn't know how is it going to work out. It was absolutely a risky thing when we look back, but it's just how it worked.
And what were 3 skills from your digital marketing days that you unexpectedly have found useful in building deep tech or clean energy brand?
So digital marketing is something, where technical and creative stuff combines. So the first skill I would say was simplifying the things for, when you are showing an ad to someone, or you are working on a creative to basically making a really complex idea into a simple one so that everyone can reciprocate. So that was one of the skill. Apart from this, I would say understanding the user more, which is, now when I see there are when we build the product for the people to use, so somewhere it comes from that side of the journey. And third skill, um, so, yeah, I think more or less these were the things. Then a bit about technical stuff, like how does the real funnel works, as in how, when we gather all the people and it flows down the funnel and you actually have the impact at the end. So yeah, these are the three things I learned from here.
And what is the problem that Nlog is solving and why does it matter?
Nlog for everyone is basically it is helping into energy saving. Energy saving is something, energy is getting wasted at the consumption level, not because people don't care about it. It is basically people don't know where it is happening. It's hidden from them. So when we started to solve this problem, we realized that rather than teaching people how to use electricity, why not making the technology and the softwares and the basically making a machine smart enough to do all the hard and technical stuff, so that at the end of the day you just get the savings without having to uh, make any effort.
So, how did you see that this was a problem that you needed to solve?
Okay, so for this, actually, I won't take the entire credit because the company was started by Bharat. He is the electrical engineer. So when he started with the initial market research, it's basically about speaking to 1,000 different people from different domains. There were people, household owner or hotel owner, some restaurant or other kind of business owners, and everyone was facing the problem of electricity. Their electricity bills were high. They were being conscious when they used to see the bill. They were taking a few steps to reduce it, but it's just that their efforts were not adding up. Like they don't know what exactly works when it comes down to energy saving. So for us, it was like those kind of people who are facing this issue, they don't exactly have a go-to solution where they can have like a end-to-end thing, starting from what are the tracking devices that will go, how the actions will happen, everything we have taken care of. So that's how we figured out that there is a gap. Not every business is able to manage their electricity, even if there are other solutions, but those are made for really large scale. There are MNCs who are catering to large buildings energy management. But imagine if everyone is using electricity, so why they don't have the power of access of that technology to use and manage it effectively.
What is the process of convincing a PG owner or hotel to implement your system?
So in implementation, like across any B2B client, because we are working with hospitality, commercial buildings, and industries as well. So how it works is initially it starts from understanding the problem. As in, not everyone is facing the same problem. We do list out a few core problems that we can solve, and when we reach out to them, we just try to map out which problem is their biggest pain point. So it always starts with understanding the problem, and then if being a startup, it's about building a kind of solution which is more closer to the user, making their life easy. So that is how we have built the solution. So it's just mapping the problem and the solution.
And everyone talks about Build for Bharat, but you're actually selling to property owners across NCR. So, what's one myth people have about selling to tier 2 or tier 3 clients, and what's the truth based on your experience?
We are selling not just in Delhi NCR, but now in most of the metro cities, our team is actively working. And one of the problem that very initially through interaction, we used to hear that okay, this is a bit too technical. Not everyone would want to get this. Uh, we realized that this is the biggest myth. uh, Technical stuff, it isn't like people don't understand technical stuff. It's just that when they are putting their some mental space or energy to understand something, they just want to have a very clear value. like if they implement a solution like this, what is the value they are getting out of it? If they are using a new software to manage something, so what is the end value? As in, we see a lot of SaaS companies who launch their product initially. They do show a use case, but at the end of the day, value is the one thing which converts people to pay for the service. And that's what we also cracked, and that is how we expanded from multiple locations now in India.
And sustainability is often a nice to have with businesses. So, how do you market Nlog as a need to have?
So regarding this, I have one observation. Sustainability is something, when we talk with a lot of different people, we realize sustainability is something everyone would like to have, like you said. It's just that people don't want to put extra time and effort to be sustainable. It's just that they're ready to put in the money. People are paying premium to buy a product which is sustainable, environmentally good. But when it comes down to put more time, or checking the apps or taking actions, so that was one gap we realized, that even if people would say that they want energy saving, they might not directly they might not regularly check the process of it. So that is how we decided that we need to take the control of it. We need to do it on behalf of them. So when we pitch our solution, we are telling them that energy saving is happening without any human intervention. So now the energy saving part, which is not just in terms of the monetary bill reduction, along with the carbon emission saving, their operations as a business also reduce and get simplified. So multiple of these things and sustainability part as an add-on does become a complete package to sell.
And what has worked for Nlog in terms of customer acquisition?
Like I said, for the a different kind of B2B clientlets we have now, it's like understanding the problem was the first part. It's more about the word of mouth referral, because we show them the result. And one single testimonial video of someone sharing how it has been working for them, the true feedback which we circulate with other people, and that's how people basically relate to it more when they see a proof of the result we are talking about. So that is how it has been working out for us.
And you've implemented Nlog in over 1,200 PGs and 35 hotels. So, how did you operationally scale that? And so, could you please walk us through how your team made that possible with tools, mindset, and systems?
It's basically like, as a company, we want to build a technology company. We aren't just another set of people trying to figuring out thing. We initially had the vision that technology is going to have maximum solution, rather than putting people into making manual or repetitive efforts. We chose to onboard the automation part of things. So at initial days, even we also struggled that what should be the ideal process to go about it. But at the end, it just worked out. Having the technology at the right place. Um, it's, I would say again, it's the mindset. Uh, a lot of people rely on third party dashboards, or getting different SaaS for multiple different places. But for us, our tech team had one really clear thinking, that if since our use case is very different, so if we want to build something in this field, so we have to have everything built from scratch, which has to be really customized for uh, just for the matter that so that we scale to a certain level and we are not restricted by any third party softwares or anything. So we built everything in house.
And like energy savings is a tough thing to price. So how did you decide your pricing model?
Pricing for us, it wasn't something which uh, we knew that what it exactly is going to work. We also did a lot of trials. So after trying a lot of things, we figured out that pricing is going to be like, first we have to show them what kind of result they are going to get when it comes down to saving in electricity bills. So what is the ROI? And pricing the product in terms of when they're going to get the payback is going to be the right way to go about it. So we fixed the pricing based on how much ROI we are able to give them. Along with that, for a business, it's also like we have to have a sustainable model. And since everyone is using, sticking with the app or sticking with the software, so we are monetizing that as well. So there is a hardware revenue, one time cost, and then there is the software platform fee that we have.
And what were some things that failed with your pricing?
In terms of failure, I would say there are certain things we avoided from the beginning. There are, in this domain, there is some model like you don't charge anything upfront, you just charge a percentage of saving that you are delivering. And we somehow had a different point of view, because when we are telling that it's just about the saving that you will get out at the end, that's not in control of the user. So let's say at the very initial time they figure out that this amount is too big for them, or sometimes it's variable in terms of saving, so that might not be in control of the user. And that is how we figured out, okay, this might not be the best way to go about it.
What metrics do you track every week for both business health and impact?
Impact is a major one. So in our office, we have dedicated screens where all of these, dashboards are live. We are always tracking that how much the impact is getting increased. So we are already managing around 20, uh, 30 gigawatt hour of electricity. So out of that, 23% has been the saving, and this translates to around 5,500 tons of carbon emission. So when we see that number increasing every day, it is something which uh, it just keeps us moving. I would also share one of the thing. On the Earth Hour, we requested all our user to participate and turn off their unnecessary lights for 1 hour. So this is like a global concept. Everyone participated on the fixed date. So that was one of the campaign. We were tracking all the dashboards live, and in that 1 hour, we saved 1 megawatt hour of electricity, and it just felt surreal, because that is how the collective efforts are translating to something which really helps the environment. So yeah.
So what do these like I'm sure these moments are incredible. So like how do you feel when you first see these data points for the first time?
For the first time, as in, so for us, it's been like we developed the product, and the software part was happening side by side. And when the software, the entire dashboard thing got live, so it basically felt that yes, we are doing the right thing. A kind of reassurance happened at that.
And have you raised funding?
Yeah, so we have raised seed funding. Earlier, it was like we bootstrapped for 2 years until we had a proof of what we are building or the kind of energy saving we are talking about is for real. So we developed the initial results. After that, we went ahead with our funding.
If someone wants to make money and also build something meaningful, where should they start in 2025? Could you give a step-by-step roadmap?
Building something meaningful um, is, it's a really noble thing, but that doesn't have to always be compromising on the profit parts. So it might take some time to figure out how exactly it's going to work, but to start with, it has to start uh, by spending time with the people who are facing this problem, like any problem that you identify. So as you spend more time with them, you understand in and out about how all of this is going to work. Then only the kind of insights or solution you will start building, it's going to work out. If it's just that if you look from outside, and there is a theoretical way of building stuff. Okay, this is the map, these are the charts, we have to fill in these, and that's how we are going to have a solution. So that might not be the right approach. I would say, when I started, I was just taking care of one part of this thing. Eventually, when I got more exposure or face-to-face interaction with the actual user, then I started to actually, understand the impact we're going to make. And that's how the entire way of my operations also changed. So I would say it just starts with spending more and more time, or maybe obsessing over the problem, the people who are facing it, and eventually it's about figuring out how you are going to make money out of it.
And what's the biggest mistake you've made in your journey so far?
So I would say it is underestimating what is at the stake. Um, like, it isn't a kind of answer anyone would tell you externally, right? It is something which you realize internally only. um, it's a advantage and disadvantage both. When you underestimate what are the things at the stake, so there might be you are taking bigger risk. And when you exactly know how much is big things are at stake, so um, your perspective or your way of working can also change. So I would say it has been like a blessing in disguise, or the other way around. But it's just that when I look back, I realize, okay, uh, now I know a little more that how the things are going to make an impact. Possibly my approach would have been a little different if I knew how much it is going to mean.
And like, what are three real-world skills that every teenager should have that school doesn't teach us?
Some of the skills I would say, which I realize in the process of working. So, a very important one is the communication. Communication, it isn't just about the ideas that you want to share, but also understanding the perspective of the other person, the emotions of the other person, aligning those emotions to communicate and build that bridge so that the communication happens. This applies to a lot of different areas. It can be, when you are trying to sell something, when you are trying to pitch something, or convincing someone to work with you or partner with you. Even as, if you are hiring someone, you are taking or giving interview. So even in that, this is one of the skill which is helpful in everywhere. Like, everyone has to go a little beyond just about the vocabulary or putting things beautifully. communication is the exchange, and that has to happen both ways. So that is one of the skill. So apart from the communication part, there is another really, really important thing, which is working under pressure. um, you know People do prioritize on following the passion or doing what you love. Even when someone is doing what they love, it does come up with its own trade-off. Like, imagine when you are working on your favorite project and you are not sleeping for days. So that's like a one example. But having that zeal to, figuring out what is working and doing everything that it takes. It might be taking a lot of pressure, but that is how it works. Like, there is nothing which can be done without pressure. Although I believe, like, someone in school would be preparing for competitive exam, which does teach them a lot of working or performing under pressure. But even if people choose, like, okay, I'm not going to go that way if I'm not preparing for any competitive exam, even then you should think about figuring out something which is going to put you in those difficult situation, going to challenge you so much, so that you it's basically like expanding your comfort zone and being comfortable in not being in the comfort zone. That is another skill. And yeah, I think apart from this, it's also about, everything that you read in the textbook, that has when it implements in the real life or in a corporate or working environment, it is very different from how it looks in the textbook. Like, you might think of the very initial basic concepts, but at the work environment, it is going to have like a really big impact. So those are some of the things, looking at things differently and building these skills would definitely help someone to survive in 2025.
So then in college, what do you think is the fastest, most legit way that someone can make a lakh today?
To earn a lakh, I would say not start a startup because like, making money is, it sounds fascinating. Startup is the new glamorous thing. People would say, okay, this can have like a, really big impact. But it's much more, it's beyond the fancy titles. It is a long term journey. Like, even if you make a few quick bucks initially, then uh, startup takes a lot of things. There are many things at stake, like I said. So it's a long term journey of patience. So not do not start a startup, but find out a skill that you are good at. And now the world is really small. You can just figure out, okay, there can be a freelance project or a consultation or something. So you can definitely earn money quickly, but to build a startup, that's like a long term commitment you should have, not just money.
And what's one marketing secret that most founders overlook?
So I was at an exhibition where we were representing Nlog, and when we were, telling them that this is the problem we are solving, this is how it is working. So the people who were listening to it, they were also repeating what we are talking. And that was the moment I realized, you can prepare n number of different pitches. You can be as creative or as wild around it, but until and unless you crack a pitch which the listener is able to repeat, uh, that's not going to work out. The only pitch that works out is which someone is able to repeat.
So thank you so much for being on my podcast. And speaking to you was truly inspiring, and I really respect what you're doing at Nlog. And I think it's very important in today's time. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me here. I was also excited to see the channel and the kind of conversations you are having, which can hopefully have an impact. Like anyone who is listening would have, might take something or even 1% of it back with them. So thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you.